Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming to I believe this is our second workshop of the quarter. Today, we do have a presentation from City Year, and they'll be giving us lots of information about a potential gap year program that you might be interested in. And now I'll go ahead and hand it over to Jeanette. Again, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to drop it in the chat or unmute yourself. And do sign in the sign-in sheet that I just dropped into the chat just now. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenna. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being part of this space. This workshop is just going to be talking about City Year, more opportunities to think about what you may do after your post-undergrad plans, along with just being able to connect and serve the communities that we are continuing to build upon throughout the communities that we serve too. So I wanted to share a little more about the presenters that we have today. And so again, my name is Jeanette Fidelino, and I use the pronoun she, her, hers. I proudly serve as a City Year recruiter. And so within the work that I do, I work closely with students that may be interested in taking a gap year. I work closely with different career centers such as UCR and connect again with students that have that desire, have that interest to potentially take a gap year with City Year. And so I'm really glad to be part of this space today. And really get to know you guys as well too. I also have two currently serving corps members that are joining me today as well too. I think especially with figuring out what your next steps are, I think it's really important to know what daily experiences may look like too. And so if there's anyone that's going to know the experiences hands-on, is definitely these two. So I'll pass it to Jasmine and Ava to introduce yourselves.
I can go first. My name's Ava. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm proudly serving at Ascot Avenue Elementary. I serve in a 5th grade classroom, and I'm so excited to be here tonight and, tell you guys a little bit more about City Year.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jasmine Ennis. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm a first-year ACM at City Year, serving at McKinley Ave Elementary School. I work with the 5th and 6th combo class, and I'm very excited to share more about City Year. Thank you all for coming.
Awesome, thank you. And so yes, definitely excited for you guys to hear their perspective. A rundown of what we'll do tonight is that I'll go over an overview of City Year, and then we'll go through a Q&A with Jasmine and Ava. And so if there's any questions that you have, feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll get to them throughout the duration of our presentation. And so for some online meeting norms, if you have the capacity, have your video camera on as much as possible. It just encourages attentive engagement, allows for some body language, and fosters a sense of community. Use the chat for on-topic conversations and questions. Again, this is an opportunity for you to ask any questions that you have about the experience, about the program. While I'm presenting, I'm not going to have as accessible, I'm not going to be able to look at the chat as often, but I will be sure that either Jasmine or Ava get back into ask me any of those questions at the end too. And then keep yourself on mute until you're ready to speak. Just eliminates audio feedback and distractions. Awesome. And so really just wanting to preface and begin this space by talking about City Year's response to COVID-19. We know that this pandemic has taken a lot out of everyone, right? And has brought a lot of uncertainty to us too. But we wanted to make sure that those that are interested in doing City Year, especially those that are in City Year, that we are prioritizing the safety of our people. And so during this time, we are continuing to do the best that we can do to reduce the likelihood of the virus to transmit in the communities that we serve. We do have a response team along with our leadership teams that are working in each city and site that we serve in to work closely with our local officials, our school districts to monitor and react to the unique situations for each site, right? But one thing is very clear is that our students and schools will need talented people just like you guys more than ever to start for and serve for our 22 to 23 school year. And so that being said, we are moving forward with processing new and submitted applications for our next service year, which does begin in the summer of 2022. And did want to mention that as of September 2021, City Year has implemented a vaccine mandate for all of our staff and Americorps members too. Cool. And so moving forward at City Year, we are really grounded in making sure that we believe that developing the skills and mindsets of children and young adults contributes to strong, vibrant communities, right? And so when you are part of City Year, you are part of a team of diverse people that provide and support our students throughout the school year, right? And so City Year is a gap year opportunity where you are committed to serving from the beginning of the year to the end of the year for about 11 months, right? During this time, we are helping to ensure that students in systematically under-resourced schools receive a high quality education that prepares them with the different skills and mindsets for them to thrive inside and outside of their communities. And so with City Year, we are looking to hire our City Year Americorps members who are able to commit that time, that energy, that have that drive, an opportunity to serve our communities, along with gaining those transferable skills that you could utilize in any career path that you're interested in going into. And so what it's like to be a City Year Americorps member, like I mentioned, when you are part of our program, you will be serving with students, right? And so what that may look like is we serve students from 3rd grade to 10th grade. But just like Ava and Jasmine, when you are part of City Year, you will be in the same grade, same team, and same school throughout the school year, right? And so we really want to focus on building that relationship with our students and being a mentor, a student success coach, along with a tutor for them as well. And so we really value City Year's holistic approach, right? And so really recognizing that we can't do this work alone. And so what's really important to us is making sure that we have whole school activities that improve learning, engage families, and inspire civic engagement. And so throughout the work that we do in City Year, we are primarily in the classrooms with our students, right? We aren't the teachers in the classroom, but we like to say that our teachers are our greatest partners in the work that we do, right? And so throughout that time in the classroom, we're helping our teachers with overall classroom support and classroom management, along with really valuing and prioritizing the opportunity to connect with our students, right? And so through the support that we go through with our students, we help them through small group social emotional skill buildings, and also one-on-one and small group academic support as well too. And within the work that we do in City Year, we also use data to monitor our students' progress from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, and really just recognize the impact that City Year has in their own individual growth as well. Awesome. And then with City Year, one of our biggest goals is to reduce the number of students at risk of dropping out. And so we like to call these the ABCs, attendance, behavior, and course performance. And so within the work that we do with our students outside of tutoring them, right, we really value the importance of social emotional support, right? And so through tracking their attendance and behavior, we're really recognizing and seeing, are students showing up to school? Are they coming to class on time? And then also with behavior, right? Acknowledging that some of our students may not have perfect days, and that's completely okay, right? But really meeting our students where they're at and really trying our best to see how we can support them to have better days ahead, right? And through our attendance and behavior, we also recognize that that can influence their course performance, right? And so with these ABCs, we know that these are needed in order for us to track their progress along with their success within the school year as well. Awesome. And so this is kind of what a day-to-day looks like. And so when you are part of City Year, it is a full-time commitment, right? And so you are in the schools from Monday to Friday for about 10 hours a day. And we know that these days may be long, but they really do speak volumes in the work that we do and the impact that we have to our students and our communities. And so I'll pass it to Ava and Jasmine to kind of share about their actual day-to-day and what that looks like in their lens.
I can go first. Yeah, like Jeanette said, yes, this is like day to day. For my team, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we do power greeting with our students, either with the kindergarten and first graders on one day, and then we do like in front of the school so the parents know who we are as well. And also going into the class, teaching with the teacher, helping the teacher out with the students, also doing like lunch support, recess support, and also after school, we have an after school program, which is called the extended learning time, where it's a time for you and your students that you didn't get a chance to like bond with a little bit. You get to know them a little more. And it's like you pick your own students of who can be there and who can't. And then at the end of the day, we do a thing called Final Circle where we discuss with the team anything that went on the day that inspired them, or something that went wrong, or something that went good, and you just figure out next steps for the next day, and then close out, go home, and you just rest and get ready for the next day.
I have a pretty similar day. So I get to school around 7 every morning. And from there, I have a first meeting with my team called First Circle, just like then Final Circle is the last circle. And after First Circle, I go out to Power Greet to greet parents and, do different chants with, first graders, second graders. The younger kids sometimes get pretty involved, so that's fun. And then from 7:50 until around 2:15 when school gets out, I'm in the classroom working with my partner teacher to support in English and math, whatever lessons she may plan for the day. During that time, I also support in something called planned academic coaching sessions, which are around like 15 minutes each, where I can pull out 1 or 2 students who I really want to work with on a math or an English skill. Like for instance, today I did one on 8 times tables, and we just go over that one-on-one. After school, I also host extended learning time for students. And there I usually work with about 5 students a day, just on homework help or anything else they might need to brush up on. And then around 4, they all say goodbye, and I have a final circle with my team and head out by 5.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for sharing more about what your day-to-day looks like. And again, it may look similar, it may look a little different, just depending on the site that you serve, along with the schools that you serve as well too. But a little glimpse of what a day-to-day as a City or Americorps member looks like. And so when you are part of City Year, you will be part of a team of about 6 to 12 other individuals, right? And I forgot to mention, but I'm also a proud City Year alumni. I did City Year right after I finished my undergrad degree too. And I was really thankful to be on such a diverse team that came from different parts of the United States, had different interests in career paths, right? And so coming all together I wasn't sure at first how that dynamic would work with all the differences that we had. But one thing is clear is that when you're all in for the love of the community, for the love of your students, that's when you're able to build that bond with your team, no matter what differences you share, right? And so I've been able to build such a unique bond with my team because of the city experience that we shared together, and really just recognizing that value in teamwork and team ethic was something that I'm really thankful to have gained through my year of service as well too. And so kind of deep diving into what some of the benefits are for City Year. Some of the benefits are, because City Year is essentially a volunteer opportunity, right? A full-time opportunity, full-time volunteer opportunity. We do provide you guys a living stipend. And so with your biweekly living stipend, it does vary by location. Vary by location because of the cost of living for each site, right? And so, for example, if you're someone that's interested in serving in San Jose, your stipend is going to be a little higher than someone that is going to serve in the Midwest, right? And so our benefits and our stipend does range from $720 to $960 bi-weekly. If you are someone that has that desire to relocate, you also do receive a $500 relocation assistance if you are relocating 50 miles or more. And I definitely want to share, if you have that flexibility and have ever had that desire to go to a new city or state, to definitely go for it, right? With City Year, you have the choice to choose that site where you want to be able to go to. But if you are also someone that grew up in the same communities that we serve, there's a lot of value in serving there as well too. So definitely feel free to choose what's best for you. But again, with that, City Year gives you that choice to do that. One of my favorite things about City Year is that once you do complete your year of service, you do receive a Siegel Education Award, which is about $6,000. And you could utilize that for any education base, right? So maybe you are someone that is interested in going back into grad school, but is utilizing a gap year, right? You could use that money and use that scholarship to go back into grad school. And that being said, City Year does have over 100 school partnerships that we connect with that is available to all of our City Year alumni. And they do give out over $3 million of scholarships. And so again, if you are someone that is interested in going and pursuing higher education and getting your master's of some sort, that can be also useful for you as well. And then just a few other things with City Year's benefits is that we do provide health insurance, time off, an employee assistance program, access to counseling services, and then loan forbearance during your year of service. And so that's essentially meaning that we are pausing your loans during your year of service, which I'm sure can be helpful, especially kind of living off of a stipend too. So we really try to alleviate that stress of figuring out your financial stability and giving these benefits that can help you during your time at City Year. And then with City Year, we really value the importance of professional development, right? As much as you guys are giving and serving our students in the communities, right? We really want to acknowledge that City Year may only be a year long for you, right? And so that being said, we really, throughout the year, we emphasize the importance of helping you with what your next goals and next aspirations may look like after City Year as well too. And so that being said, City Year's alumni make a difference in a wide range of professional fields, right? And so like I mentioned, my team consisted of people that also weren't going into the teaching field or the nonprofit field, right? And so I know that this is a psychology club, right? But even if you aren't going into that field and have different desires, you can gain so many transferable skills that could be utilized in any career path that you go into after city year as well too. And so this is a little chart of some of the fields that our alumni go to, such as government, education. We have a few that are enter pre-law and pre-med as well. And then a little fun fact is that approximately 50% of our city year staff are also city year alumni, just like myself, right? After my year service, I took a little break, but then I really, my year was an extraordinary year that I wanted to continue sharing my experience at city year too. And so one of the reasons why I'm back is because of the experience that I've been able to gain, and also the value in connecting and building upon bridging that gap towards education equity. Awesome. And so deep diving into how do I apply, really looking at this map here. This shows all the 29 different locations that we have across the United States, right? And so the first step in applying to city year is our online application, right? And so our online application just consists of a few short answer questions, provides you the opportunity to upload your resume. And then also we do ask for a reference, right? And so with your reference, all you do need to provide is their name and contact information. And then we send them a questionnaire on your behalf, right? Within your application as well, you get to choose the site that you want to serve in, right? And so for me, when I wanted to serve with city year, I'm originally from the East Coast, right? And so I knew that I've always wanted and had desired to live in a big city, and so I chose city year Los Angeles, moved across the country to serve with city year LA, and I've been in LA ever since. But through that application process, you get to choose a site. If you are someone that's flexible, there's opportunity for you to also choose a server most needed. And that's when we get to choose a site where we need core members the most during that application process as well. Awesome. And then this are some of our upcoming deadlines that we have. That being said, our next application deadline is actually February 4th. And so if there are a few of you that are seniors and fourth years that are thinking about your next steps and considering a gap year, definitely take this into consideration, right? Applying the city year isn't going to be set in stone, right? Applying is just the first step, right? In recognizing like, oh, this may be the potential, not a potential opportunity for me to do, right? And so through the application process, we try to alleviate the stress of post-undergrad plans, right? And so our application process is only about a month to 6 weeks long. And so if you do apply by February 4th, you will actually hear back by March 4th, right? And that again, just allows you to provide you more time if you are someone that's relocating, focus on graduating with your finals coming up and everything like that as well too. And I know just in case there are some like undergrad students that are not seniors, right? It's never too early to think about what those next steps may look like for you too, right? And so if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, really thinking about what those next steps may look like, definitely take this to consideration as well too, because this is city year, we're really just trying to grow the next generation of leaders, right? Through the help of our city year Americorps members. And so it's never too early to think about your next steps as well too. And then I will say that as shown, there are a few different deadlines throughout the year, even after our February 4th deadline, right? But I definitely encourage, if you are someone that has that knows city year is a good fit for you, thinks that city year would be beneficial within your own career path and taking a gap year, right, to definitely apply as soon as possible, right? Because after each deadline, we do fill up the core more and more, right? So within the later spring deadlines, it does get a little more competitive, along with harder to get into the programs, especially per site, right? Because we have some sites are more popular than others. And so again, if you are really considering city year, to definitely apply sooner than later. And through the UCR campus, I am the UCR Connect, right, through City Year. And so if you have any questions after this, definitely feel free to connect with me furthermore. And definitely just wanted to highlight Jenna for this opportunity too, because Jenna was one of the students I got to connect with through City Year, and I helped her go through the application process. And then she finally got her invitation to serve with City Year. And so I want to just congratulate her in this space and thank her for just having the opportunity to connect, because Jenna is only one person, right? But with one person, she could do so much through City Year. And so I'm super excited to see where your application and where your decision goes through. But just know that City Year is a huge champion of UCR and all of our students here as well too, and really just helping you guys navigate what any of your undergrad plans may look like as well too. Awesome. And so thinking about what to expect after you hit submit, you will go through a application. After you go through your application, right, you'll hear back from one of our admission staff to schedule an over the phone interview. And so after the over the phone interview, after that space, actually, in the over the phone interview, that's again another opportunity to connect with someone in City Year, right? We try to make sure that you feel comfortable in serving with City Year, right? So it's an opportunity to connect, get to know you more, right? Seeing if City Year is a good fit for you and vice versa. Along with, we do target different competency questions along with scenario questions, thinking about like what may happen during your year of service as well too. We do ask you to check in with your professional references, just in case, because in order for you to continue with your application process, we do need that reference form to be completed. And just a heads up, they do have about a week after the application deadline to fill that out as well. And then to regularly check your email for admissions decisions, especially your spam box. And so City Year emails sometimes tend to go into spam. And so just making sure that you're checking all of your inboxes when it comes to, especially closer to that decision date. Awesome. So this is just a glimpse and a little overview of City Year, and again, the program that we are talking about, the different benefits that we have, and also how to apply. And again, just you mentioned, our next deadline is Friday, February 4th, which is this Friday, but we would be happy to help and support you in navigating what that looks like too. And again, we do have different deadlines throughout the spring semester. And this is the best way to connect with me. So if you have your phone handy, definitely feel free to scan my QR code, because this is going to be the best way to connect with me further once you do fill out that interest form. It's a great way for me to stay in touch with you and connect with you, even if you aren't a fourth year, right? If you're someone that is still in the midst of your undergrad, there is a question that asks you what year are you interested in serving, right? And so you would just put the following year that you may be graduating, so, and considering a gap year as well too. So I will also put my interest form link in the chat as well too, but wanted to take the time to transition into our City Year Americorps members Q&A with Jasmine and Ava. And also just wanted to have this as an open dialogue with everyone too. Anyone that has different questions that you may have, feel free to put them in the chat, but I am going to stop sharing my screen so that we can just continue to have an open, genuine conversation with one another as well too. But yes, again, feel free to put in the chat if you have any questions, but wanted to start off. And again, for those that may be joining in late and weren't able to hear intros, would love Ava and Jasmine to introduce yourselves again, share your name, your pronouns, where you graduated from, and along with where you're serving, and the grade that you're serving as well too. So I'll pass it to Ava to start us off.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name's Ava. I use she, her pronouns, and I actually have not attended college. I'm taking a gap year after high school. So City Year is available for students people between 18 and 25. But next year I'm planning on attending Scripps College. What else? I am serving as a first-year Americorps member at Ascot Avenue Elementary with some fifth graders. And I'll pass it to Jasmine.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jasmine, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. I started off in the community college route, which is Los Angeles Harbor College, which I graduated in 2019. And I transferred to Cal State LA, and I graduated from there with the social work major, 2021. And I'm a first year ACM, and I work at McKinley Ave Elementary with fifth and sixth grade combo.
Awesome, thank you. And again, definitely utilize the chat if you have any questions. But I really appreciate the different perspectives that we have here as well too, because when I served with City Year, I served with high schoolers, right? And so if anyone has questions about different perspectives, right, in age and grades that we serve, definitely feel free to ask that as well too. But wanted to ask our first question within this Q&A would be, share why you decided to take a gap year with City Year. And I'll pass it to Jasmine to start us.
Okay, so the reason why I decided to do a gap year, because I felt like after the pandemic, it was a lot for me. So I decided to take a gap year. Honestly, I didn't even know what City Year was till like when I was at my internship when I graduated my undergrad year. An intern told me about City Year, and then I discussed with my field instructor at that time, and she said she knew someone who did it and they enjoyed it. So I took the initiative and to do research and see what City Year was. And then I got in contact with an ambassador who just like really boosted up City Year and what made me like motivated to like apply. And eventually, yeah, I got in and got into McKinley, and I just appreciate those people for giving me that opportunity and letting me know, because I honestly did not know what I wanted to do. I was like stuck in between wanting to do grad school or did I want to work? So I'm glad that I chose to do City Year.
Yeah, for me, I would say there's two main reasons why I decided to serve with City Year. First, I really wanted to get that in-classroom experience. I knew that I wanted to pursue teaching after undergrad, and so having that experience where I was in a classroom, working with a teacher, working with students every day, just felt like a great fit for me. And the second reason I really decided to serve with City Year is because of the incredible post-service benefits. You know, the Siegel Education Award is one example of a college scholarship or an education scholarship that City Year provides, but they also have, and I'm pretty sure I'll put the link below, a whole list of colleges with specific city or scholarships that you can apply into, like really good colleges. So that was something I really appreciated. And then in addition to those scholarship opportunities, they have a lot of professional development opportunities. The last one I went to was a resume workshop last night, where we could meet, professionals in different fields and have that networking experience.
Thank you. Definitely appreciate hearing that insight as well too. And one thing I wanted to highlight that I was definitely in the same boat and not knowing what I wanted to do after post undergrad, right? And so I completely understand if you guys are on, some of you may be in that same boat as well too. But taking that gap year with City Year really solidified that I don't think I'm meant to be a teacher, right? But I really value the importance of that community work and that I have that passion for bridging that gap towards education equity, right? And so for me, I wanted to still continue that work in education in some sort of way, right? And that's what led me back to serving with City Year as a recruiter and being able to connect with other students that have that desire too, and provide this information about the value of City Year as well too. So that being said, thank you guys so much for sharing that. And so wanted to ask, how do you think City Year is applicable to your future careers? And I'll pass it to Ava to start us off.
I think for me, I see a pretty direct application. I'm hoping to pursue teaching, and this year has really solidified that with me, and working in a classroom every day. That's can't get more direct than that. I think one thing that City Year has really helped with, though, is giving me the confidence to plan lessons and execute lessons with students, as well as run a whole after school program. I can't really think of any other program that lets you have that experience.
Yeah, I agree with Ava with that. Given the opportunity to be in the classroom all day with the students is like much important. And I always wanted to work with kids. So seeing that I'm able to do that is a blessing. And it's also like, I learned a lot, honestly, coming from an internship that was virtual. This is a lot different. And it's like I get to be hands on with the students. That's like the best part about it. And yeah, I learned a lot. It's a lot of character traits that I like recovered that I didn't think I would ever recover. And having a supportive team behind you is the most important too, in order to get the job done. And some days I feel like I'm doubting myself, but I have teammates that's just like, no, girl, you're doing good. You're fine. Don't doubt yourself. You got this. So it's just all that comes into play. And also like important trainings, also revisiting some of the information just in case, because sometimes you don't remember some information. So having those key trainings during like the mid-year or during the Thanksgiving break to just revisit those informational.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it definitely reiterating what they were able to share about I think it like pinpointed different things, right? And the value in not just serving, but how this is helping with this different skills, the confidence to do different things, especially that cater to your future career path as well too. And then I know, Jasmine, you're able to kind of talk about your team dynamic. And so that does transition into my next question, which talks about in what ways do you work with your team, and what does that team dynamic look like for you guys too? And also like how many people do you work with, and what does that look like in your own City or team too? So I'll pass it to Jasmine to start us off.
Right now we have 5, which is good, and we're all like women, but it's okay. We all come from different backgrounds. We all want to do different things, but the key thing that we care about is the children and the students. We care about making sure the students are okay, making sure emotionally they're there, focusing more on their social and emotional. So when their social and emotional is developed, then you focus on the educational part, because that's the social emotional plays a big part, especially with older kids, because of the fact that they go through stuff outside of the schooling, and then it could also affect their academics. So that's one thing I could say about my team. We also are very good at advocating for our students because sometimes it could be a little much, but it's important to really have those skills to advocate for your students. So if you can advocate for your students, the whole school will be able to be on your side and listen to what you have to say, and also creating communication, great communication, because that's the most important in order for the team to be a dynamic and be strong, especially with the school that's full of a whole bunch of staff members that don't know what city year is. So just being together is important.
Yeah, I would echo everything you said, Jasmine. I think our team dynamic is super important at my school as well. I serve on a team of 6 core members, and then I have my boss who doesn't work in a classroom, but he's doing the administrative day-to-day stuff. And I would say I'm pretty much in constant communication with my fellow core members from the moment I walk into the door to the moment I leave. We're talking about how best to approach an academic or a social emotional situation with a student, or what fun activities can we plan for our after school group, different situations like that. I think City Year really makes an effort in creating this strong community that really has each other's backs. I know I can rely on any one of my team members to help me out if I miss something during a planned academic coaching or during our after school program. And I do think it comes from working the long hours, but I also think it comes from just the job position being kind of attracting such a motivated individual.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, when it comes to my team, they were definitely my lifeline throughout my year of service, right? Because um, serving City Year is such a unique shared experience that if there's anyone that's going to know what you're going through, it's your teammates that go through it day to day with you, right? And I think you also bridge, and become lifelong friends. And my teammates I've been out of service for about 5 years now, which is crazy to even think about. But some of my friends and my teammates that I've been able to build bonds with are still, some of them are working at City Year, and some of them have also moved on to getting their masters, have moved outside of LA, but we still share that same bond and are able to connect through a daily basis still too, right? And so moving on to the next question that we have, I wanted to ask Ava and Jasmine, what has the training and leadership experience been like for you guys too? Oh, I pass it to Ava.
I think the training has been super valuable. So before you serve or before you step into a school, you have about a month of training from, like mid-July to mid-August. And that lets you go over all the basics, make you feel comfortable stepping into a classroom or feel comfortable with your different teammates. And then I know Jasmine's already touched on this, but then we have a few checkpoints throughout the year where we also focus on different aspects of teaching or education. Like I know we had one over winter break, or we had one over Thanksgiving break. And I think our next one is in April, mid-April. But besides those kind of directly applicable training programs, there's also a lot of professional development programs that City Year sponsors. They call it Life After City Year, and they really make an effort to connect you or host spaces with future career recruiters or career paths. And so that I find that really helpful.
Yeah, I agree with Ava. Yes, the trainings are super helpful because it is a lot when you go into the classroom, because it's like, oh, you think that you're just going in the classroom and you're just gonna sit in the back and just observe, but no, it's more to that. So with those trainings, I find it very helpful because it's like I didn't know how to like talk to kids. I didn't know how to like work with kids. So having those trainings, having those basic skills, and also my favorite part is also role playing with other like other city year members that's like outside of your team, having those opportunities to role play. And then my favorite thing was when we like did a pack session where you have to plan like a session for math or for ELA or for social and emotional. So that was kind of helpful as well, having those examples, making like a time to like do a sample, and then now just like actually like knowing how to do it and not struggle, don't ask any questions, just getting that training, and it's also helpful as well.
Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing your insight. And so I wanted to close out this space by just asking you guys to share any advice for students figuring out their post-undergrad plans and those next steps in potentially taking a gap year. And then I'll pass it to you, Jasmine.
Yeah, some advice I can give to anybody, do not be afraid to reach out because you never know who knows what. Like, don't be afraid to reach out to any coordinators, or if you're in the internship, ask any of your interns because it's like they have knowledge too. And also, do not procrastinate. If you want to do something, do it right away because due dates come and they pile up and you just be stressed. And also researching what you want to do. Like if you want to go to the grad school, research your favorite school you want to go to or the job that you always wanted. Always research because in an interview they always ask you, what do you know about the company or what do you know about the school. It's just those, and keeping track of due dates because due dates are just it's just like you're in college again, but it's like it keeps you organized. And City Year does a great job of letting you know when your due dates are to keep you updated, especially when you get accepted into City Year. They have this little checklist that you have, and it has all the due dates, and they give you resources of how to get this paperwork and documents that you need in order to still be a part of City Year.
I would say the first thing is just apply, even if you're unsure about it. You can always say no down the line. Hopefully you'll say yes, but it doesn't ever hurt to just put yourself out there, put that application in. And the other thing I would say is reach out to anyone you might know who served and really get their perspective on it. I know probably 99% of the reason why I decided to serve is because I had a friend's older sister who is currently serving, speak with me and tell me about her experiences, and to really get that perspective kind of solidified that this was the right path for me. And if any of you guys are interested in getting that perspective, I'll also drop my email in the chat. And so feel free to reach out if you have any questions that weren't answered related to City Year.
And I also want to add, always reach out to the ambassador of City Year because, oh my God, when I talked to one, it was super like energetic. I was just like super excited. I was like, yes, I'm applying. Thank you for motivating because you never know who you're talking to, and they really love City Year. So just reach out to an ambassador as well and just apply regardless of what happens. Just like Ava said, nothing, City Year don't discriminate, honestly.
Double click. Yes. I'm out here like clapping. I'm like, I'm so proud. Yes. Thank you so much. I think that advice, like, I wish I got that advice when I was an undergrad too, because I was really struggling like with what to do with my post-undergrad plans, right? And just like Jasmine and Ava, I was able to connect with someone that had done City Year in the past, and then furthermore connect with a City Year recruiter, right? And so really just taking that step to gain more information and also just be part of this space, right? I appreciate you guys being present in this space and really taking the time to learn more about City Year and the opportunities that you can gain as part of City Year. And so I think if there's one thing that is clear, especially learning more about Ava and Jasmine's experience on my own, is that and something that really like relates with mine is that with City Year, I've never felt alone, right? From the day that I started my application or even my interest in City Year to the application process to being invited to City Year and the few months prior to my year of service, I was always provided different resources that allowed me to succeed in my role as a City Year Americorps member, furthermore, as a City Year recruiter to this day. And so I am really thankful to have heard more about your experiences too, and wanted to kind of just again open the space and share this doc as well too, making sure you guys have the information that you may need, along with opening up the rest of the time for any questions that you may have about City Year too. And I'll be sure to follow up with Jenna as well so that you guys have Ava and Jasmine's email along with my own and information about how to stay connected with me as well too. But feel free to either put on the chat if you have any questions or unmute yourself. Would love to have this opportunity to have any questions about City Year for either me, Jasmine, or Ava.
I just want to start off, Jeanette, by saying thank you for hosting this presentation, and Ava and Jasmine for joining us as well. Jeanette, would you be able to share the slides with us after?
Yes, absolutely. I will share the slides, the emails, along with the links that may not show up on the slides, or like click. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll make sure to send you the links that are accessible on your end as well too. But yeah, no problem.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I'll go ahead and end the recording just for now. So
No
thank you
problem.
everyone for being here, and I'll end it now.